So, these arrived in the post about 2 hours ago, I think. And I got these from eBay literally 1 or 2 days ago. So they arrived very quickly. I've given a nice good review. And you're probably thinking, maybe, that there's a nice thing here which I'll talk about in a second. But he's gone and got another Westclox. Another 66 movement one. Well, actually, I've did buy another sort of Westclox copy, like the Veglia, which was sort of based off a Style 1A Big Ben. This looks like, not the case and face, but the back and the movement looks like pretty much exactly like a Westclox alarm clock with a Model 66 movement in it, which was like the economy movement compared to the Big Ben. And I'll just reach behind and get a real Westclox. And you can see, I chose this one, even though it's rusty and you can't really see it very well. I chose this one because it's got those things in the back and it's also got the knob on the top. And I don't know about you, but I think that this one on the right has an identical movement to this. And this WELTIME is made by Anglesey Instrument Clock Co, Great Britain. Let's try to get it to focus. Which is something I've never heard of, and that's because it's a division of a company called Wells-Brimtoy, who made wind-up toy cars in the 50s, I think. So yeah, they made alarm clocks too. I don't know whether they made the movement or not. It looks like they would have got it from Westclox, but that makes me think, why would they just get the movement from Westclox and not the case and stuff? Because I can understand putting their own dial on it, but this case has no benefits really over the America or Kino or whatever alarm clocks Westclox put in these cases, because the stamping they'll have to do themselves and stuff like that. Also, the paint is really faded on this. I think this must be original colour, very very hot pink, but it's sort of gone to a sort of candy floss kind of colour. Also, it's got a plastic lens. I think that's original because, I don't know, no one would put a plastic lens on a clock if they had the choice. Also, it's got a knob on the top like the America, but it came out. So that's probably something we can fix. Anything else worth talking about with this? Yes, definitely. First of all, mountings are different to the Westclox. The Westclox have screws into the pillars. This one has nuts on the pillars, which is something I've never seen on a 66 Westclox movement before, which makes me think that this movement inside here, as well as the sort of design of the clock, is copied from a Westclox without really their permission. I don't know about permission, but I don't think they bought one from Westclox. Purely because of that. Even though it looks very similar in layout, they probably just took a Westclox alarm clock, looked at the movement and said we can make one like that. But another thing to point out is, if you look at this dial, I've got one here, and this is a Smith alarm made by Smiths in the, I don't know, 50s, probably the same era, and they are, apart from the number 7, apart from the number 7 and the size of it, they're pretty much identical. Same with the silver bit in the middle and the sort of colour bit with the numbers on it, donut dial. Yeah, it's very very similar, and because of the difference in the number 7, I think they copied Smiths as well, rather than actually getting Smiths to make stuff. So we've got a bit of a strange one here, a bit of an oddball, a bit of an oddity. And that makes it pretty interesting, I think. And you're probably thinking, open it up, I want to see what the movement looks like. Yes, I'll get to that, but first, this also arrived, and we'll talk about this as well. It's not the main subject of a video, and I don't think I'll ever do a series on it, because it pretty much works already, and there's not much to say about it. It's a Europa, 2 joules, made in Germany. It's got the standard movement on the back. W00, W21 it says on it, and it's date stamped 1975. For 1975, I don't know if that's 4th quarter or April, but it's 1975. Plastic lens, and it's in great condition. Luminous paint's good too, but the actual case and the movement, apart from that bit on the top of the bell, where it's gone a bit strange, the clock is in really, really nice condition. So that's definitely worth having as a collector's item. Either that or I'll sell it on, but I might keep it for now, purely because it's a really nice thing to have, because it looks good. So I'll just keep it out of view for now, because we don't want too much in the camera. Subscribe. So what next? We open it up. Also want to talk about the condition of this as well very quick. Yeah, I've already wound it up somewhat, about 90% wound up. It does stop occasionally. Sluggish balance movement, it will need a service. Also, that's not good. Alarm, something's gone wrong with it. I think the mainspring is either broken or unhooked from the middle of the arbor. I think it's unhooked because I can't hear any broken spring noises when I move it around. When the spring's broken, you can usually hear a little bit of a click every rotation. That's where the broken spring goes around. But with this one, it's just literally spinning. Also the same the other way, so it's going to make the key harder to take off. But enough of that. I will get what I think is going to be exactly the same, a real Westclox clock. Sleep meter luminous, I think this is called. I better keep this dial away. But yeah, I think this clock will have an identical movement to the real 66. So, let's get it open. I have not even tried to open this yet. I wanted to do it on camera because I'm as curious as you might be. So, first thing we take off is these winding keys. You can see that the key slips around a bit, whereas on a Westclox it doesn't. So I think the Westclox were made to a much higher standard, although these guys weren't actually proper clock makers for the main thing, so that's excusable, I think. How am I going to get this off? I'll try the flip tactic. Didn't work. Alright, I'll need to go in from the front. I think I can take the dial off. We also got 2 nuts and little knobs. Where's my screwdriver? WELTIME. There are a few of these going around actually on the internet, but this one, I've always wanted to get a hold of one of these just to see what the movement looks like. And I finally did, because this was on eBay for a long time, but they finally lowered the price to a point where I thought, actually, yeah, I might get that. Alright, you can see that the plastic lens is very stiff inside there. It's also got a bit of a burn, probably from a cigarette. But yeah, I'm not gonna, I don't know. We probably use the same material to make windscreens on toy cars. Also, you can see probably what's the original pink in the middle. I might even repaint this one day. So the next thing to come off will probably be the hands. Yeah. Also, you can see the cap in the middle of the hands. Unlike the Westclox over there, they've actually... Ooh, well, that fell off. They've actually gone to the effort of putting a little dome on the end of the hands. So there are some benefits and some non-benefits to this over at Westclox. Let's get this hour hand off. The minute hand looked the hardest to remove actually, because I was worried about scratching it trying to get that dome top off, but it just came off with the hand. These are painted in very, very matte black. It's almost like blackboard paint. Very weird. Alright, I'll get this alarm hand off. It's going to be serviced anyway, I think. Oh, that just fell off. Right. Let's get this dial off. You can see it's covered in little bits of black stuff. I'll wipe that. Give it a whole service. And, yay, it's got tabs, which means I can't take it off. No, that's not coming off. You can see the dial's got a bit of a lip around the edge, a bit of a spacer, which makes the clock thicker than a Westclox, I think. Not by much though. Because the lens is domed, but they've also got a bit of a spacer on the dial itself. How can I get this winder off? It's going to be a bit of a puzzle, I think. Usually that works, the force of it, but this thing's so loose that I don't think any amount of force can help. Alright, I'll get these nuts off. Careful not to scratch the, careful not to scratch the paint. See, someone's already been at this because there are scratch marks around the nuts. Also, another difference is the stamping's different on a Westclox. You can just see here. This is the case and the one that's just the face at the moment. Yeah, the stamping's different. So another thing that makes me think they actually just copied a Westclox movement rather than getting one from Westclox themselves, which makes it more fun, I think. Right, I've got those nuts off. You can see the pink underneath now. Yeah, definitely need to get that winder off. Unless I can reach behind. Oh yeah, I can probably get a screwdriver behind there and block the spring somehow. I need a torch though. I'll use my phone as a torch. Right. So I can just peek inside there. Oh yeah. I can see it's got, like the America, it's got the kind of click springs that are a, what am I saying here, trying to concentrate on two things at once, that are a piece of bent metal that fits into little holes rather than the ones on the Scottish Westclox, which have a bent metal click rather than three fingers, or is it two fingers? Some fingers going around. And what's happened here is actually the entire alarm wheel, the great wheel for the alarm is rotating. Let's get my torch in there again. I don't know why that is. I think someone must have ruined it. Ah, it's actually catching on the spring now, but in the wrong direction. Alright, this is going somewhere. Yeah, I don't know what happened to this. That's still loose. Yeah, I'll get back to you. I'll pause the video now. Not pause it for you, but pause it for me. And I'll carry on recording when I've got to a point where I can loosen this winder off. Well, that took like 20 seconds. I think I got it off now, didn't I? Maybe I didn't. Oh. Alright, let's go back to the square, whatever, one. Got it. Don't know what I did to make that come off, but I stuck my screwdriver in somewhere and it worked out. So are we all ready to see the movement of the WELTIME? I know I am. Actually, flip it over so it's more suspenseful. And I bet it's just literally a copy of a 66, but we don't know until we've seen. It's a copy of a 66. However, it's dated very well. It's actually got 3/4/49 as made in England. That will of course be the 3rd of April 1949. and yeah, it's literally just a 66 in there. But now here's the thing. What have we got here? We've got, instead of the traditional 66s, which have riveted backplate and screwed on front plate, we've got a nutted, well, screwed on backplate and a riveted front plate, which is very, very strange. And this has a lot of mystery to it, I think. A lot more than I can think about. So I'll probably service this in a series coming up very soon. First, I'm just going to detach the dial. There's someone's bent over these tabs, which usually means someone's tinkered with it, because no company usually bends those tabs over. And then we can compare the movements. Oh, yeah, you see some of the tabs are bent, some of them aren't. This one's bent too. Yeah, I think this should clean up pretty nice. It's literally a 66, but with different plate boltingnesses. As you can see here, yeah, you know, these are a pain to dismantle because of this, the fact that the screws are on the front plate instead of the back plate. But having it this way around, and not only that, these knobs look like they'll come off actually. Not counting on it though. No, okay, never mind. Well, that will be too much of a good thing. But yeah, 66s are a nice movement that's fun to work on. As long as nothing weird's happening like this, which is because, why is the alarm not working? The alarm escape wheel has popped out of its socket because good old 66 Westclox problems, actually basically any Westclox clock ever, has the problem of these pivots slipping out of their actual wheels. So I may as well put it in and just see what would happen if it wasn't problematic the way it is. If I can get it into a position where I can actually do that, of course. Yeah, it's very oily. Someone's like put loads of oil on this. I'll use these things. Nearly there. Yeah, this is where it helps to have 3 hands. Right, hang on a minute. You know what, I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to do a series on this anyway. About servicing it, even though it'll be sort of similar to the one we did on America. I've got an excuse here because it's slightly different. And this bell looks more like a Smith's bell, because Smiths put the bell under the nuts, like that. Whereas Westclox put it on the screws, where there are no screws here. Any other differences I can spot? I mean, of course, this model has the button on top, so it's not going to have the same knob on the back. But other than that, Westclox has more holes randomly put around the place. This one probably should have a hole there for the other end of the alarm tensioning eye-shaped spring to go in. But it doesn't. Yeah, pretty similar, if not the same. Also, this has slightly rounded edges compared to the Westclox's very aggressive corners. So, apart from the movement, anything else we can say about this? Dial is made of 2 dials. It's got a metal plate with another bit of metal on top, because these have to be bent out of the back, and they couldn't have holes in the dial. That would just look weird. So they've stuck this bit of aluminium on it. The logo is pretty cool, sort of Chinesey style. It's got weird black bits on it. I'll dry those off next time. Anything weird inside? don't know what this is. It looks like someone tried to redo one of these rivets by splitting a nail on it. Oh yeah, there's a knob on the top. Yeah, very similar idea to what the America has. It's just been worn away over time, I think, so I'll just rebend that into shape. But overall, yeah, it's basically a knockoff of Westclox. Yeah, not much else to say. Don't think it was made under license, because why would they make their own movement for it? I don't know. Dating's different. It's definitely someone taking a Westclox and just redoing it all. I think, anyway. Unless someone worked at Anglesey Instruments can tell me, actually. But I doubt they're still alive. So yeah, on that note, I will leave you with the vision of a pink inside of a clock with a bit of unpainted bit in the middle. Subscribe.